Hello again, and welcome to Adaptation, the vlog where we talk about film adaptations. I'm Kendall Bryant, and this week we are talking about plot changes that worked. Basically when the film changes something from the source material, but we didn't hate it. Now, our first example of this might not be the most popular opinion, especially since Peter Pevensie made it onto our list of worst adapted characters for his whiny and defiant character arc in the Chronicles of Narnia Prince Caspian. And we agree, this is nothing like Book Peter. However, it's more realistic, and leads to him jumping into the plan to attack the Telmarine Castle, which is the plot change that we liked. I mean, he's a teenager, he feels abandoned by Aslan, and he's desperate to prove that he can be a hero again. And then the plan fails miserably because he's a teenager, and he lacks the patience to have waited for Aslan's plan, which, while we're at it, further backs up the religious themes that are in the book series. And on to another fantasy series, The Hobbit, particularly The Desolation of Smaug, shows the ring's effect on Bilbo. In the book, it's just considered a lucky find, like, ooh, how convenient that I found a ring that makes me invisible when I have to go steal from a dragon, woo! But we think it would have been insane for the films to pretend that the audience was ignorant of the ring's power and danger. And they didn't ignore it. We see how Bilbo is drawn to the ring, how his obsession with it is growing, and even that it's taking a physical toll when he's been wearing it for a long time, which establishes a continuity between the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit films. For those of you that have been following us for a while and know how often we praise the BBC's Pride and Prejudice for its accuracy, you might be surprised that we actually think a change made in the 1940 Pride and Prejudice with Greer Garson and Laurence Olivier actually worked. In that film, Lady Catherine's attempt to get Elizabeth to promise not to marry Darcy is actually a test to see if she really loves him. It might not be accurate, but it fits and it makes the film really enjoyable to watch. And while we're on the subject of Jane Austen, in the book Austenland by Shannon Hale, the main character's trip to Austenland is purchased for her by her great aunt. But the film changes that so that she seeks out the vacation on her own, which we think is more realistic for somebody that's that obsessed with Mr. Darcy. At the end of Stardust by Neil Gaiman, Tristan eventually lives out his mortal life and dies, leaving Yvain to rule alone forever, glowing in the night. The film changes this, and instead, the two use a Babylon candle to ascend into the sky and live forever as stars together. Whether this change is good or bad has actually been a bit contested among our hosts. Some like the happier, more fairy tale ending in the film, and others liked that the book was a bit darker. So you're gonna have to help us out and tell us in the comments which side you fall on. Our last plot change that worked comes from Joss Whedon's Much Ado About Nothing. In the original Shakespeare, it's hinted that Beatrice and Benedict may have had a previous involvement with each other, but the film confirms it, starting out with the two in bed together and Benedict then sneaking out, adding just a little bit more drama to the story. And actually, while making this list, I thought of a number of changes in Joss's Much Ado that I really liked, so I'm just going to direct you to our podcast on it for those of you that would like to hear more. So that's all for our list, but be sure to tell us in the comments which plot changes that you liked on film. You can also get in touch with us through our Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook, as well as at adaptationpodcast.com, where you can check out our blogs and podcasts and subscribe to us on iTunes. Until next time, remember, not all changes are the end of the world.